Eh bien bonjour à tous ces amis, je suis peup-peup, j'espère que vous allez bien. On se retrouve aujourd'hui sur The Outer Worlds. Lors du dernier épisode, nous avons rejoint le vaisseau ici et Eda. On a pris le contrôle du vaisseau. Aujourd'hui, j'ai un point d'avantage disponible encore. Ah, il ne me l'a pas compté. D'accord, j'avais pas validé la dernière fois, autant pour moi. Et là, il va falloir récupérer un élément électrique pour pouvoir décoller ensuite. Donc on va sortir de là.
Say, this wouldn't happen to be your ship, would it? Because you sure walked in it like it was your ship. And if this ship is yours, well, mister, you owe Spacer's Choice a hefty fine. Afraid we gotta dock your pay.
Attaquer, vous trompez sur toute la ligne. Je suis inspecteur de sécurité du vaisseau. Ou je n'ai pas de travail. Ah. Ok, je n'ai pas de travail.
I'll waive your fee since you helped us with those marauders. If you're looking for work, talk to the constable down at Edgewater. She's got a bounty on marauders. Edgewater's not too far. Just follow the road east of here, over past the cemetery. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to inspect the crime scene before I make my report.
Bonne continuation, ok. On est resté en bon terme avec elle, ça c'est le principal. Bon, puis bah c'est parti du coup. Ok, c'est le dirigeant de la ville. Ah non, c'est un maraudeur. Ok, ils sont plusieurs. On va attendre qu'il revienne, je peux peut-être le tuer discrètement. Allez, quand tu veux. Ok, a priori je n'ai pas moyen de les tuer discrètement. Ah si, peut-être à la hachette. Oh. Ah par contre c'est très très beau, hein. Pour l'instant je trouve ça magnifique comme jeu. Ok, on arrive à Edgewater. Bonjour.
Whoa, hey, where'd you come from? Don't go ambling out in those hills. That's marauder territory, friend. Your pod? What are you on about? You take a bruise to the cranium? Ain't safe out here. You'd best head into town. Avail yourself of Edgewater's high walls and low prices.
Capitaine Alex Hawson, enfin je sais pas trop. On va prendre ça.
Pleased to make your acquaintanceship. I'd shake your hand, but I've been hauling corpses. You don't want none of that on you. Name's Silas. Junior in humor for the town of Edgewater. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family. Definitely not the junior in humor, that's for sure. If you've got business inquiries, you should stop by Reed Thompson's office. He's up in the tower above the cannery. Head into town, follow the road. Look, you obviously ain't a worker. What's your racket? You a smuggler? Freelancer?
Tout dépend de ce que vous avez à me proposer.
Edgewater is a company town, board-owned and operated. That includes the cemetery. None of us own our grave sites, we rent them from the company. Renting means money. Money means paperwork. Paperwork means signatures. Some of our families become a mite delinquent in paying their dues, you see? Four workers still haven't paid up. Phyllis, Conrad, Ludwig, and Martin Abernathy. He's a special case. You may want to twist his arm a little. Conrad's got a barbershop in town. Phyllis works at the cannery most hours. Abernathy... I ain't seen him in a few days. His domicile is near the cannery. You'll find him in town. All except Ludwig, that is. He's over by the landing pad.
Ok, pourquoi c'est un cas à part?
He just is. Look, I don't want to get into it. Just make sure he pays up. Yeah? The colony ship? Are you talking about that old rumor? Some great big starship packed full of colonists what got lost in the Aether never to be found again? Ain't heard that one since I was but a stripling. Can't say it was terribly convincing far as rumors go. Is there a reason you asking?
Tracker de quête pour les objectifs en cours. Ok, alors par contre, comment je change d'objectif si je veux passer sur... Ok, on va commencer par nos trop chers défunts. Voilà. Voilà. Je sais pas trop où sont les deux autres pour l'instant. On va commencer par ces deux-là, notamment celui qui est à 58 mètres. Edgewater. On va peut-être faire un petit peu de secondaire aussi en passant. Histoire de voir un peu tout ce que le jeu peut proposer. On a découvert Edgewater.
Yes, Mr. Thompson. I'm fine, Mr. Thompson. Never been healthier. Whoa, did Mr. Thompson send you? Well, you tell Mr. Thompson I'll be right at my post. Tomorrow. Bright and early tomorrow. Because I'm definitely not plagued. As spry as a spring chicken. That's old Abernathy. And what are you doing here? Visiting? Well, let me give you the grand tour. This here's my domicile, and there's the door. What? No. I mean, I might be. That depends on who's asking. So Silas can afford a hired thug, but I still gotta pay him a burial tax. Silas knows, doesn't he? That's why he sent you. That's why he wants me to pay up. He knows. Sounds like he's already told you. You may as well hear it from me. I'm dying. I'm not long for this world. The date of my expiration is fast approaching, and soon I shall be ushered through the great cannery in the skies. It's plague.
La conserverie dans le ciel.
Silas knows. He knows I got one foot in my grave, and now he wants to charge me for the other one. I'll pay your fees. I don't want any trouble from Silas. But if you could see a way to freelancing for me, I could really use the help.
Ok, on a obtenu... Bon, on va pas faire que ça non
I'll
plus.
scratch something together for you. Sell off some of my sundry at Moreau's if I have to. Just hear me out. There's a cache of anthracillin tucked away in the old community center. Powerful stuff.
Ok, ils vont commencer à nous donner tous des missions par contre.
I need you to break in, nab that medicine and bring it back to me.
On va y réfléchir. C'est pas ce que je souhaitais pour l'instant. Bonjour.
Excuse me. I'm Esther Blaine, Spacer's Choice Actuary. I overheard your talk with Abernathy. I hope you're not thinking about getting him that medicine. Abernathy is a well-known hypochondriac. Anthracillin is wasted on him. You're better off selling it to me instead. All I'm saying is Abernathy's worked in this town longer than some of us been alive. How do I put this gently? He's got a lot of cobwebs up in his attic. That's all I can ask of you.
Ok, alors attendez, parce qu'il faut que je vois les différents objectifs. Conrad est là. Il y en a un qui est à l'extérieur. Next. Bonjour.
Please don't touch anything. Your hands are probably crawling with germs. Physical hygiene recapitulates moral hygiene. Cleanliness is next to lawfulness. No, thank you. That's quite all right. I've seen enough body parts in my line of work. I'm Conrad. You will report to me if your hair fails to meet Spacer's Choice aesthetic standards. You will also report to me in the event of your death, whereupon I will clean and prepare your remains for interment.
Ok. Alors, on va collecter la redevance.
Ah, gravesite fees. Silas and I had talked about this at length. I thought I'd made it clear my pecuniary situation precludes the necessary restitutions. As broke as pie crust, friend. Bidless, indigent, destitute. I simply cannot afford it. I am a blemish on the prosperity of our fair settlement. When I expire, I expect Silas to toss my body into a ditch.
On est là pour faire un peu de mercenariat.
With what? My own blood? Tell Silas I can't afford to pay, and that I fully expect to have my medical rights revoked for this dereliction. With my apologies. Not a bad idea. But I'd need some kind of collateral. My pair of lucky clippers! No, that won't do. Your idea intrigues me, but I'm afraid I don't have anything to give Silas. I'm open to suggestions. Much obliged.
Ok pour lui. Alors, on a Phyllis qui est par là-bas. Space or choice.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, Tenderfoot. I'm busy. Shit. Silas still on about that. Here, take the fees. I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Reed I was late on my payment. Because they're not my fees and not my gravesite. Guy I worked with shot himself. I paid the bill. I could do without the sarcasm. Wasn't acting out of the goodness of my heart. Law requires delinquent gravesite fees to be paid by the deceased party's closest living relative, which meant me.
Le voisin,
Shame
d'accord.
though. Eugene was a good worker.
D'accord. Ah, c'est la personne. C'est vrai que c'est la personne la plus proche, les voisins. Ah, on fait la transition, on va aller voir le dernier. Ça c'est Silas. Le Zwick Miller, il est par là. D'accord, ça c'est le cimetière. Et on a découvert l'aire d'atterrissage. Bonjour.
Thank the law.
Ah,
I've been requisitioning backup for months. Guess the boss finally came to his senses. You ever swung a truncheon? Let me see your rifling stance. I want to make sure you're up to snuff. I told Silas I'd pay my dues if he agreed to join the resistance. Guess this means he's finally heard the calling. The war! The coming apocalypse! Man versus machine! I'm talking about mechanical soldier. Cold, heartless automatons made of iron and lies.
faut se méfier de ces
That's
trucs.
right. That's what I've been saying. We gotta square our shoulders and stand ever vigilant. Auto-mechanicals. Creatures forged in the fires of malevolence. I seen them over by the old power plant, clattering about. Firing at the birds? Orchestrating their uprising? When the swarms of mechanicals come clanging on over that hill, where will you be? Cowering beneath your cot? Or standing, shoulder to shoulder with the resistance?
Je vous laisse. Ok, alors il va me rester que celle du médecin, il faut que je trouve comment le faire payer pour terminer cette mission-là et pouvoir avancer. Allez, on retourne vers Edgewater.
Heard something outside the walls today.
What can I do for you?
J'ai quelques connaissances en médecine.
Oh? Am I in the company of a fellow doctor? You may think that, but the tidiness of my fellow worker is my responsibility, alive or otherwise. Whether you're showing up to work or going to that great cannery in the sky, it's my job to make you look like a million bits. Go ahead.
Ok, bon, je sais pas comment je vais le faire payer pour l'instant, donc je vais amener ça déjà. On va voir ce qu'il va dire. Et après ça, on va avancer vers la mission principale, on verra ce que ça donnera ensuite.
Fancy threads. That some kind of hibernation suit? You run into any trouble? Conrad's barbershop is a yawning pit that swallows his every bit. I keep telling him he should cut a few corners. Skimp out on the disinfectant. You gotta put the squeeze on Conrad. Find some dirt on him. Maybe check his back room.
Ok, alors... il faut que je trouve des choses sur lui pour pouvoir passer. Conrad, le réceptionniste, s'est tiré une balle dans la tête. C'est terrible, la compagnie ne va pas y aller par 4 chemins. C'est une destruction de la propriété de Spacer Choice. Eugene était un actif de la société. Et quelqu'un va devoir le dédommager à la hauteur de sa valeur corporelle. Ça va nous mettre sur la paille. Du coup, je me suis dit qu'on pourrait revendre ses dents. Eugene avait un ensemble complet de dents en or, un héritage transmis de génération en génération, si j'ai bien compris. C'est toi qui vas t'occuper de son corps, non ? Fouille comme tu peux et récupère-les. On revend les dents discrètement, on rachète sa valeur corporelle et tout le monde n'y verra que du feu. Qu'est-ce que tu en penses ? Ne réponds pas. En fait, ne viens même pas m'en parler. Fais-moi juste un signe spécial la prochaine fois qu'on se voit. Fais clignoter tes sourcils. Phyllis. Ok, du coup, on en sait un petit peu plus sur lui.
What can I do for you?
Hop.
You know about Eugene? How?
Je lis dans les pensées.
You were probably poking around my things. I really shouldn't leave my letters sitting out in the open. Eugene's golden teeth were a family heirloom, representing 3 generations of poor dental hygiene. He took them to his grave. That's unthinkable. Eugene's body and all rare earth minerals contained therein are solely the property of Spacer's choice. I can't ask Silas to dig up a man's body and pry a few teeth loose from his jaw just to pay my bills. Can I? Here you are. Gravesite papers affixed with my signature and an IOU.
Ok.
Eugene was not a suicide. He put a bullet in his brain, yes, but that's largely a technicality.
Ah, ça ressemble quand même à un
I
suicide.
was the one who prepared Eugene's body for interment. I discovered symptoms of the plague on his corpse, and I discovered medicine in his pocket. Lots of medicine. Eugene overdosed on adrenatime, which is known to cause psychosis and paranoia as possible side effects. The paranoia drove him to take his own life. We can all thank our lucky stars that young Eugene was hopped up on medication and suffered its predictable side effect. I included it all in my official report. I'd like to think I saved Edgewater a great deal of money. We never could have paid the fines associated with a suicide.
Allez, on va finir cette mission-là, du coup. Et on va ensuite reprendre un peu la route pour essayer de trouver le matériel pour réparer notre vaisseau.
Grave digging's a fine profession. Always work to be had, and nary a word of complaint out of your clients. Yeah? What about him? Yeah. Funny thing, Eugene's body ain't where it's supposed to be. The night we was supposed to commend his body to the earth, I had his grave all dug up and ready, right? And so I thought, I'll just rest my eyes a bit. When I woke up, his body was gone. Spirited away. Vanished. The footprints nearby suggested that Eugene was stolen by marauders.
Évidemment.
Or he rose from the dead. Suit yourself. What's on your mind? You run into any trouble? Reliable work from a freelancer. That's gonna take some getting used to. And I'll buy you a drink sometime. Suppose you've earned it. One good turn
Hop,
deserves
les
another.
octos. Allez, c'est bon. Tac. Journal, on va reprendre du coup un étranger dans une étrange contrée. Ok, on a changé. Du coup, on a gagné en réputation avec eux. Et on va aller voir du coup le dirigeant de la ville. Il doit être dans la conserverie, je suppose.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself. I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I cannot help but notice you are not in uniform. Yes, so it dawns on me. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
C'est louche, ça, encore.
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
My dad told me all about the plant. Taught me all he knew. I could come in useful. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you. You will need an administrative passcode in order to enter the plant. I am trusting you with mine, and trusting Miss Holcomb to guide you if you'd like.
Avec plaisir.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Alors, compagnon. On a obtenu un compagnon. Ces personnages vous accompagnent dans vos aventures et vous aident de différentes manières. Les compagnons vous aident pendant les combats, leurs compétences augmentent les vôtres, ils augmentent la capacité de transport. On peut déverrouiller les capacités de combat spéciales des compagnons à l'aide de compétences inspiration. Ok. Et on a des nouveaux points de compétences disponibles. Tac. Hop, on va mettre quelques-uns en leadership. Toujours un peu dans les dialogues pour essayer d'avancer. 30. Ok. Vous pouvez ordonner à vos compagnons d'utiliser leurs capacités spéciales sur les ennemis que vous ciblez. C capacité 1, V capacité... D'accord. Bonjour.
We better clear out of Mr. Thompson's office before we talk.
Ok. Bien, puis bah nous du coup on va s'arrêter là je pense. J'espère que cet épisode sur The Outer Worlds vous aura plu. On se retrouve demain pour la suite de l'aventure. D'ici là je vous souhaite à tous une bonne fin de journée et je vous dis à la prochaine.